Councilmember Simmons.
Present.
Councilmember Oates.
Present.
Councilmember Anker.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Mackey.
Present.
And Councilmember Mitchell has joined online.
Present.
Thank you. We'll do the announcement, and I'd like to recognize that last week was an interesting week because we saw quite a celebration of the communities, and I know the communities of our Christian faith, they observed the Lent, and our Muslim neighbors, they also started the Ramadan, actually on the same day, February 18. It's interesting. And also last weekend, here at the City Hall, we celebrated the Lunar New Year. And I want to thank our staff for doing a fantastic job. The turnout was wonderful, and we really enjoyed different events. Right here, I know Mayor Pro Tem Mackey and I, we actually doing exercises at Tai Chi. That was fun. And there was lion dancing was fun. I saw Councilmember Hernandez, Councilmember here, Councilmember Jordan, and others probably. Please forgive me if I missed anyone. It was quite an event. So and thank again for staff for doing such a wonderful event. Okay, let's start with District 1, City Councilmember Hernandez announcement.
Good evening, everyone. I wanted to invite everyone to on Thursday, February 26th, the Board of Education business meeting. So they're going to be voting on the budget for the upcoming year at the Sasser building in 14201 School Lane, Upper Marlboro, Maryland. Many of our residents have students that attend Paint Branch Elementary School. For those of you who may not be following, Paint Branch Elementary School is currently facing a program cut to the Chinese immersion program that they've had. We have a lot of passionate residents who have organized and sent letters to their state representatives, to the Speaker of the House for Maryland, all the way to Senator Rosapep, and just across the political spectrum to try to fight to keep this program going or some sort of level of it. You may have seen a petition out there. I encourage you to sign the petition. It's a virtual petition on change.org. But if you can, attend virtually or in person to support the residents fighting for this. They will be wearing red in solidarity. Again, that's at the Sasser Administration Building this Thursday at 7 p.m. It'll be from 7 to 9 p.m. I'll see you there.
Thank you. Councilmember Hill.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to invite you all to the Sunset Celebration that is a community engagement effort to recognize the people in our community who practice Ramadan, is honoring Ramadan. This will be a meal with your neighbors who are from that religious group that's celebrating Ramadan. It will be at the Anacostia building at 1 Physics Ellipse Drive, Riverdale, Maryland, and will be at 5:30 to 7:30. Further, earlier this evening, I met with the Boy Scout Troop 740 and the Girl Scout from Troop 96 at the Holy Redeemer Church in Berwyn. The Neighbors Helping Neighbors was acknowledging their efforts for the removal of the snowcrete in our historical storm on January 25th. 8 scouts, young adults, came out and helped 16 seniors dig their way out of their, not help, but he did it for them, rather, dug them out of this historically crazy, hard ice crete. They went above and beyond. They worked for 8 hours straight. They were just so good about it. It was sub-freezing temperatures. There was no complaining. Nobody backed out. They were real troopers. They really served their community and showed what dedication and youth leadership was all about. From Girl Scout Troop 96, there was Kendall Kovarik. From Boy Scout Troop 740, there was Horatio Gordon, Hadrian Gordon, Nathaniel Jordan, Lazarus Kovarik, and Logan Lavoie, including the leaderships of Lauren Lavoie and Chris Gordon. Their service they did a great service to the community, and we appreciate them all. Thank you.
Thank you, and it was wonderful to join the Scouts with you, along with you, Councilmember Hugh, and Councilmember Jordan, and Mayor Pro Tem Mackey this evening at 7 o'clock. It's quite a bit of work they did, and it's unprecedented. And we really appreciated them. Thank you. Thank you for your leadership. Councilmember Jordan.
Yes, thank you. I echo the mayor's praise for the city putting on the Lunar New Year Festival this weekend. I was also able to join the Chinese Bible Church in their Lunar Festival and Paint Branch Elementary School before that. I also echo that we have these three important annual seasons that many of our residents observe. The Ramadan beginning February 18th, including fasting and prayer is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, and Lent, also beginning on February 18th with Ash Wednesday, also involving fasting and prayer, mirroring the 40 days. And I just want to encourage all the residents who celebrate in these ways and observe these holidays. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Simmons.
Pass.
Councilmember Oates.
Thank you. I just wanted to flag for folks, the Calvert Hills Citizens Association is having their next meeting actually tomorrow night from 7 to 9 p.m. It'll be on Zoom. If you don't already have the information and would like it, you can email Calvert Hills Citizens ASSN@gmail.com. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilmember Ranker.
There will be a meeting about the Wellesley proposed sidewalk for especially College Park Estates and Yarrow residents. It'll be 7 p.m. on Zoom. We don't have the link yet, but if folks would mark that off. Thanks.
Do you know when?
March 11th.
March 11th. Okay. We have some
Key
time.
information.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. I know quite a few residents have questions about that sidewalk, as well as any others, any other streets in the city. Thank you. Councilmember, sorry, Mayor Pro Tem Mackey.
That's okay. So I just wanted to flag an excellent report from the Age-Friendly Committee on the grab bars for seniors. So it's in the packet, and it will be on the, it'll be probably in every kind of city information coming up. But it's a very good report, and I hope that all of the residents will take a look at that. And if you will indulge me, I have a kind of longer thing that I'd like to share. So Eating Disorders Awareness Week is observed February 23rd through March 1st. It is a time to shine a light on a serious but often hidden health issue. Eating disorders are not only a lifestyle choice. They are a complex mental health condition that can affect people of any age, gender, race, or background. According to the National Eating Disorders Association, millions of Americans will struggle with an eating disorder in their lifetime. Conditions such as anorexia nervosa, bulimia nervosa, and binge eating disorders have the highest mortality rates of any mental health disorder, yet many who are suffering do so in silence. This week is about awareness, early intervention, and compassion. It's about recognizing the warning signs, reducing stigma, and ensuring that individuals and families know help is available. As a community, we promote body positivity, support mental health resources, and encourage open conversations. No one should feel alone in their struggle. Recovery is possible, and it starts with awareness, understanding, and support. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Mitchell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I did want to alert my colleagues and the residents of College Park that Vice Chair Jonathan Briggs, District 2, Representative to Board of Education, is going to be hosting a town hall meeting, a virtual town hall meeting, tomorrow, February 25th, 2026 at 7 p.m. There will be highlights about the upcoming budget as well as opportunity for communities to express their concerns about Paint Branch Elementary. I will share this information with city staff. Hopefully they will get this on the website. And that's all I have this evening, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. It must be a very important meeting. Appreciate that. Let's go to our student liaison, Nicholas DiSpeda.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's been a bit since we last spoke, so again, we want to thank you all for your leadership with passing the early release ordinance. A lot of students, in the sense then, have reached out to us and have been very grateful that this has happened, and it's a great thing for our city. We've also received a lot of publicity, so shout out to DC News Now. So it was cool being on TV. Yeah, just had to say that. But yeah, so but we obviously there's more
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
We are back. All right, let's continue with the announcement from Mr. DeSpirito.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I'll try to not take off the power this time.
You're the one.
I'll try my best. But yeah, as we were saying, we've been receiving pretty good publicity with the ELO, and Amir will obviously talk a lot more about what our next steps are for that. Some of the other initiatives that we've been working on, we've been talking with various student organizations that are concerned about the presence of ICE in the area. There's some student organizations that are leading an initiative on campus to declare UMD a sanctuary campus. And very other initiatives such as lobbying in Annapolis for bills to protect residents against ICE, which is very important work. It's stuff that Amir and I have spoken to some members here in the council about, and stuff that we are going to continue to advocate for as we need to. And in addition to that, obviously, one of our last initiatives as well, as we near the end of our terms, is to increase more internship opportunities for students here on the council. And that's something that we'll be working with council members, particularly Councilmember Ranker as well, as showed interest in this, as well as other council members. And that's something that we'll hopefully be able to work towards budgeting into the upcoming budget cycle. But yeah, that's all for me.
Thank you. Mr. Bujma.
Good evening, everyone. As Nick mentioned, with the ELO passing, we've been working a lot on education and just making sure that students know what this is and how it's going to affect them. So we've had a few different opportunities to be able to inform students of this. For example, the School of Public Policy is going to do a news feature on the policy and how it's going to affect students. We also are working with admin to get a school-wide email out to everyone about the early lease ordinance and what it means for them. And then aside from the ELO, other things that we've also been doing is working with various student groups on campus who have reached out to us and connecting them with city resources. I know a lot of them were asking us about different grants and what we offer for people doing community service, so we were able to connect them with those resources. And then lastly, we were also able to attend a couple weeks ago, we went to one of the SGA GBMs and we were able to give our updates on everything that we've been doing and just engage the students more with the city.
Thank you. Thank you for your leadership. All right, let's go to Mr. Young for the city manager's report.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, residents of College Park. A couple of announcements today. We have an upcoming budget engagement session scheduled for March 4th at 6 p.m. here in the City Council chambers. We'd encourage residents that would like to provide us input on the budget to participate. We also have two engagement sessions, one with the Berwyn District Association, which is on April 16th at 7:30 p.m. It'll be virtual and in-person attendance, and they're still working on the location. As soon as they finalize that location, we'll make that available to everyone through our communication channels. Then we May 14th at 7:30 p.m. We'll also be at the North College Park Community Association, and that meeting will take place at Davis Hall. And so we encourage residents to attend those particular meetings if you're in those areas. And then we also have, and you'll hear about it tonight, anyone who lives in the Lakeland community, we invite you out to a planning session to really talk about the development of the house that we have there in Lakeland, and that'll take place on Monday, March 9th at 7:30 here in City Hall on the first floor of the community room. That's all I've got.
Thank you. Any question for Mr. Young? Seeing none? Oh, Ms. Maggie.
Because of, I think that I missed this on the website, but because of moving the trash to the next day, is heavy trash, is that also changed? Or are they out doing heavy trash on Thursday and Friday?
You mean bulk trash?
Bulky trash, whatever.
I will have to find out that answer
Okay.
for you. I have to go back and look at what we put out.
I missed it. I'm sorry for putting you on the spot.
It's okay. No, it's all right. If I remember right, it is bulky trash gets picked up on Thursday and Friday this week.
Usually, yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, if there is no question for Mr. Young, let's do acknowledgements. We have the former city councilman, Mr. Catlin, in the room. Thank you, Mr. Catlin, for joining us. And I do not see anyone online. All right, let's go to the proclamations and award. We have two brief proclamations to make. The first one is Black History Month proclamation, and it reads as follows. Whereas Black History Month is an annual celebration that honors the achievements and contributions of black individuals and recognizes their pivotal role in our shared history. And whereas the City of College Park celebrates the diversity of black community, including individuals who identify as African, African American, Afro-Latino, Afro-Caribbean, or black. And whereas black residents have played a central role in shaping the city's history, culture, and continued growth through leadership, service, and community engagement. And whereas this observance reminds us of the ongoing need to confront racism, promote equity, and honor those who have advanced civil rights and strengthened our communities. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that Mayor and Council of the City of College Park recognize the month of February as the Black History Month and encourage all residents to continue working toward a more just, equitable, and prosperous community for all. Proclaim this 24th day of February 2026, Fazil Kabir Mayor, City of College Park, Maryland. And the second and the last proclamation is about Women's Heart Health Awareness Month. And it reads as follows. Whereas the American Heart Association launched the Go Red for Women movement 2004 to raise awareness of cardiovascular disease, the leading health threat facing women. And whereas among females aged 20 and older, nearly 45% are living with some form of cardiovascular disease, and fewer than half of the women entering pregnancy in the United States have good heart health. And whereas there are estimated 4.1 million female stroke survivors today, and approximately 57.5% of stroke-related deaths occur in women, and whereas much cardiovascular disease can be prevented through education, lifestyle changes, and awareness of personal and family health risks. And whereas the Go Red for Women movement encourages women to prioritize heart health by understanding their risk factors and working with healthcare providers to support overall physical and mental well-being. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Mayor and Council of the City of College Park hereby proclaim February as Women's Heart Health Month and encourage all its residents to take preventive steps to protect and improve their heart health. Proclaim this 24th day of February 2026, Fazil Kabir Mayor, City of College Park, Maryland. We now go for amendments to an approval of the agenda. Is there an amendment to the agenda? If not,
Move the agenda be approved.
second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, any abstention? The agenda has been approved. Now we go for public comments on the consent agenda or non-agenda items. If you have anything, speak on anything that you do not see on the agenda or consent agenda. Mr. Catlin, please come forward. State your name for the record.
Thank you, Mayor Kabir. Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Bob Catlin, resident of College Park since the late 80s, currently president of the Berwyn District Civic Association. We've recently announced our meeting schedule for the spring. We haven't had any public meetings in January or February, so we want to resume those in March, April, and May. The Thursday meeting on the 19th is going to be about sustainable lawns, and we're also going to have a group of residents talk about a possible community urban farm for the property on Rhode Island Avenue that the city recently purchased. So we're starting to work on ideas for that. Then in April, on the 16th, as Mr. Young said, we're going to talk about the city's proposed budget, and we'll have city staff go through the budget at that meeting. And then our May meeting on the 21st, some of you may not be aware, but the university is planning the proposed road to go to Route 1. It would intersect Route 1 in the area where Berwyn House Road is. They've done some exploratory testing in the last few months, and so we're going to get some information from university representatives about that road at that May meeting. In future meetings when I'm here, the historical tidbits I think I will talk about next will be about the city's parking garage. The city's parking garage opened in August of 2009, and before that we had well, at that time, we had 6 parking lots with meters in it. We had the city's property with the meters, and we had 5 private properties with meters in it. So it'll take about 6 minutes to go through the history of that. So that'll be coming up next time I talk to tell you how we came to have a parking garage, which I believe is the only municipal parking garage in the county. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Mr. Perez, Ms. Perez, welcome.
Good evening, Mayor and Council and residents of College Park. I'm Arelis Perez, a resident of District 1, and I'd like to report on Neighbors Helping Neighbors College Park. So on Monday, we're very grateful to our vendor because we were able to service snow removal and salt services to 74 homes. Of those, there were 43 homes in District 1. There were 11 in District 2, 8 in District 3, and 14 in District 4. We're very grateful for the support, the collaboration, and the assistance that Neighbors Helping Neighbors gets from the City of College Park. And also, I'll take the opportunity at this time as a board member and volunteer for the organization. We are still needing volunteers, and we have 6 vacant positions on the board. You can always call 301-222-3434 or email coordinator@nhn-cp.org. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the wonderful work Neighbors are doing. Any other residents? Mayor Pro Tem?
I'm not sure how to do this, but I made a mistake. So we have
Suspend
to
the rules.
Okay.
You need to suspend
So
the rules.
I move to suspend the rules. To change the agenda.
Second.
All in favor say aye. So the rule is suspended, and now we can.
So now I want to move that 26-G-22, the January 5th, 2026 minutes removed from the consent agenda and bring back on March 3rd.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? That is removed. Now, if there is no other amendments, we need to approve the agenda as amended.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? So the agenda has been approved again. All right, now we can go to the consent agenda. And now we have 3 items. Let me read them first, and then I will entertain a motion. The first one is 26G19, award of contract to Cintas Corporation for uniform and mat rental. Second one is 26G20, letter of support for the town center market. And third and last one is 26R02, resolution of Mayor and Council of the City of College Park in support of an application to the planning assistance to municipalities and communities program. Can I get a motion?
Move to accept the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? The consent agenda has been approved. Now we move to the public hearing, and we have only one public hearing. And this will be taken by our city attorney, Ms. Anderson. It's about the ordinance 26001, ordinance of the Mayor and Council of the City of College Park authorizing the acquisition of certain real property located at 9315 Davidson Street, College Park, Maryland, for a public purpose. Ms. Anderson?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight we are going to have the public hearing on the ordinance. It was introduced, what was the date? At our last, she's going to give me the date, but tonight we would go forward with the public hearing and possible action.
Thank you. So you open the floor for public hearing. If you are here to speak on this item, please come forward to the podium. Mr. Catlin, I've been advised to write down your name on the card. You can do it afterwards. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Fazil. Bob Catlin, College Park resident since the late 80s. In 2003, when I was on the council, we actually purchased this property.
It's a long, long history.
We had it, we kept it till 2007. Back then, there was the owner of the property was trying to get the county to approve 4 homes to be built on it, and they would only approve 3, and it wasn't financially feasible, he said. The council member from the Woods, Peter King, who was in his 12th and last year on the council, negotiated with the property owner for the city to buy the property. He negotiated a deal to pay $60,000 for it, payable in 4 installments of $15,000. Why was it $15,000? Because back in those days, you could never get approval for something of $60,000 that wasn't already in the budget. And Peter was aware of that. So for the magnificent sum of $15,000 a year, we got the property. Real estate prices skyrocketed in the early 2000s. A lot of it was due to investor demand for houses. So the city put the property up for sale in 2007. We were offered $475,000 for the property. We sold it. We took $100,000 from that, and we gave it to the people who ran the College Park Woods Swim Club because their clubhouse was badly in need of renovations. So that's how we lost the property. Obviously, the guy never built the houses. The property was foreclosed upon. He sued the city over it. We gave him $10,000 to go away. He went away. And now we're back today and buying the property again. Back then, that was only the second time we had bought property that I was aware of. The first time was the trolley trail, but that was program open space money. But the money we used to buy these properties came from the city's budget. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that fascinating story. Interesting. Anyone else wants to speak on this item? Do I see anyone raising hand? I do not see one.
Mayor, we do have someone online.
All right. Can you allow a person to speak? Yes. Hussein Wahid. Please go ahead. State your name for the record.
Yes. Thank you for the chance to update with respect to the progress on bills, and I wanted to come today, but the time I got up from the General Assembly was quite late. So I just want to mention that one of the proposals for the interactive implementation.
Mr. Wahid, is your comment? Is this about the property, Davidson property? It looks like you're talking about something else.
Oh no, sorry.
Yeah, you'll have an opportunity to speak at the end of the meeting.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for joining, by the way. Appreciate it. Anyone else wants to speak on this item? Seeing none, I declare that the public hearing has been held. And we move to the next item, which is an action items. And are we going to take an action on this? Is it?
Yes, Mayor, you can take.
The council can take action right now?
Possible action if you're
possible
ready
action. Yeah, so I will entertain a motion on this.
Yes. I move to adopt Ordinance 26-0-01 of the Mayor and Council of the City of College Park, authorizing the acquisition of certain real property located at 9315 Davidson Street, College Park, Maryland, 20740 for a public purpose.
Second.
Thank you. And this is in District 4, and it's so fitting that two council members are doing these motions. Thank you. Any further comments?
So I think that we've discussed this a lot. I hope that we can support this initiative, and I thank Mr. Catlin for the history of this. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the council before we take the vote? I think it will be okay to say you can ask questions. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? So the ordinance has been approved. Thank you. All right, now we go to action items, and the first action item is the 26G21, which is about the letter of support for funding Paint Branch Elementary School Chinese Immersion Program, and this will be taken by our new Assistant City Manager, Ms. Laura Reams.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Good evening, Council. Tonight, what the Council has before you right now is approval of a letter to the Prince George's County Board of Education in support of continued funding of the Paint Branch Elementary School Chinese Immersion Program. This item was brought forward by Councilmember Simmons. I will direct your attention to, there is a revised letter in the red folder with some minor changes. Happy to answer any questions if there are any. Otherwise, I will turn it back over to you, Mayor.
Thank you. Any question for Ms. Reams? And thank you, Ms. Simmons, and also Councilmember Jordan for your leadership, because this school is in your district. Appreciate your leadership. And thank you all the community members who joined, who wrote letters to the Board of Education, signed the petition, something Councilmember Hernandez was mentioning, and also testified last week. And I had the opportunity to testify as well. Any question about the letter? There are 3 changes, you can see, 3 or 4. If not, question?
Yeah, I was just noting that on the CC list, we don't include the 21st District delegates beyond the Senator Rosa Pep, and might suggest adding them as well.
I don't know if I got a, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I don't know if I got a final version on mine. I know that there was some back and forth emails, but like, is
It's
the
in the
principal?
red folder.
Is the principal CC'd?
Yeah.
No, should we? Can we CC the principal, please?
Is there any reason we are not copying the entire county council only to Eric Olson?
We can certainly do
We can
so.
certainly, please.
Thank you for
Let's
those
do
edits.
it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Because they're the one who gives the budget after the estate. Any other question? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion, because there's an action item, so I need a motion. I defer to one of my District 2 council members.
I move to amend the letter to the Prince George's County Board of Education to amend the first paragraph to read, on behalf of the City Council of College Park, I write to express our strong support for maintaining funding for the Chinese immersion program at Paint Branch Elementary School, as well as the middle and high school programs it feeds into in the FY27 budget and in future years. Amend the last paragraph to read, we recognize and appreciate that the board has proposed an option B, which will provide for 25 students per grade to continue with Chinese immersion. However, the City Council of College Park respectfully requests that the Board of Education maintain funding for the entirety of the Paint Branch Elementary School Chinese immersion program and its programs at its feeder schools in the FY27 budget and future budgets, and urge the board to consider alternative solutions to address fiscal challenges. We also urge the board to engage in a collaborative dialogue with families, educators, and community stakeholders regarding the future of immersion education across the county. We appreciate the board's dedication to ensuring that all students have access to high-quality educational opportunities, and thank you for your consideration of this request. And finally, to amend the list of CCs to include the entire 21st delegation, the principal of Paint Branch Elementary School, and the entirety of the county council.
Second.
Second, any further comments? Ms. Simmons?
On On the amendments specifically, I think that these are important just to support the full continuum of education for children in Paint Branch's program and for the families impacted by this proposed change. And specifically to reference the proposed option B, which is, you know, outlined in the amendments, but specifically to express our support for funding for the entire program.
Thank you. Now, by the rule, I need to go to the audience to get comments on this item. If you're here to comment on this letter, please come forward. Looks like Ms. Murphy wants to speak. Please come forward. This is your time, Ms. Murphy.
Ruth Murphy, District 2, where Paint Branch is, and I'm grateful for you all for writing the letter. Lakeland has also written a letter on behalf of the Lakeland Civic Association in support of expanding the Chinese immersion program, or keeping the Chinese immersion program as it is, in addition to really promoting global citizenry. This is really important for us to talk about our interconnectedness, and so we need programs like this. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Anyone wants to speak? Is there anyone online? Do not see. So let's come back to the council. Anyone wants to comment before taking the vote? So the motion, Mr. Orts, your question was about the amendments?
So I think we had a motion and a second on the amendments, but we haven't voted on that, and we have to separately then adopt the letter as amended.
So
since the motion was only to amend the letter,
was
not to adopt the letter.
The motion was to approve the amendment.
Amended letter, so we do not need another motion.
No. The amendments.
Yeah,
Right?
the way it's
That was the motion
framed,
to
I think we
approve
need
the
to vote on the amendments,
And then we have
and
to
then
vote.
vote on the
Then
approval of.
another vote as amended? Okay.
So
Yes.
Okay, so the first vote will be on the amendments. So let's take that vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? The
I
amendment is
abstain.
passed.
I abstain. I have a child in the program. I abstain from the vote, and either,
You're recusing yourself.
yes, please.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. So it passes 7-0 to 1, I believe. Okay, now I entertain a motion as amended. Again, Ms. Simmons.
I move to approve the letter as amended to the Prince George's County Board of Education in support of continuing funding of the Paint Branch Elementary School Chinese Immersion Program.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Do you need to go to the audience for the amendment? I'm good. Any further comments? No. And Ms. Jordan, you want to recuse yourself?
Yes, I abstain for a reason of recusing myself.
Okay, thank you. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention? It's Ms. Jordan is abstaining. So it passes 7-0 to 1 again. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, point of privilege. Councilmember Esther is online, and I don't think we recognized her attendance.
Oh, I didn't see that. So I'm running this meeting from my phone, and it's difficult. Yeah. So thank you, Councilmember Esters, for joining us. I appreciate that. And former Councilmember Maxine Gross is also online. For some reason, I'm not seeing their names on my phone. Thank you for pointing that out, Councilmember Hernandez. All right, so the next one is 26G23, which is the approval of the annual liquor license, and this will be taken by our Director of Public Services, Mr. Coker. Mr. Coker, floor is yours. There are some materials in the red folders. Take a look.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and residents of College Park. The item beforehand is 26-G-23. It's regarding approval of annual liquor license renewals. It's an annual activity that our department does in the month of February, and we go through a process of approval. Just to give you the background, I would like to bring few facts before the council. All the beverages licenses in the city, alcoholic beverages licenses in the city of College Park are due to renewal within the next few months. Prince George's County Board of Liquor License Commissioners, BOLC, requires that if a municipality wishes to voice its recommendation for any denial of any of the entity within the list, it requires a public hearing, and we have to submit that verbatim as a transcript to the board. Public Services Department has reviewed the status of establishment in city regarding violation of regulations of Board of Licensed Liquor, Prince George's County Fire and EMS Department, County Health Department, County Police, or any other city violations that have been cited on these entities. Any significant outstanding violations or issues known to the city at this time are noted in the attached liquor license renewal data spreadsheet. And this spreadsheet has been updated, and it is provided in the red folder for you all to review. And our staff has been continuously working on the enforcement aspect of the city-related violation that exists on some of the entities within that list. Having said that, I would like to, make certain clarity about the latest change in the recommendation letter that the city manager usually sends to the BOLC regarding each of those entities. If you probably take a moment to review both of those lists, and I can answer any question if you all may have.
Thank you for the presentation. Any question, Council? Mr. Hernandez. Sorry. Councilor Oates first, and Mayor Pro Tem, and then Hernandez. You don't have?
Sure. Thank you, Director. I think one question is whether we are required to send a letter to the BLC, or if we are not pushing for a license to be denied, if we can just not send a letter, and then if we do choose to send a letter, if you could provide more clarity on what the actual timeline is of when they would need to receive that and when we would need to host a public hearing.
Yeah, if you will look at the spreadsheet, I think the dates for the county, liquor license, they are usually in May or the month of July. That is how they are all listed. As far as I would like to bring the clarity to the group here that our code enforcement responsibility is only to the two items in the sleuth of violation that may exist on a particular entity, and that is like non-residential occupancy permit, which is basically a simple document that we give to any entity and that gives them right to be able to conduct the business. And it basically involves an inspection from my staff for building, fire safety, and other related trades and regulations inspection. Usually that comes out of city code or any of the adopted codes and standards. And the other item is the city liquor license. Typically, as a process, we don't issue any city liquor license if the county has not issued them a county license to conduct that business at that particular location. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone has a clarity of what our responsibilities are or how we kind of interact. My staff has a usual, interaction with the county agencies that works with us coordinatively on this issue. They usually get in touch with them in the 3rd or 4th week of January, and we kind of reach out to them and we try to verify all the open existing violations that may be, and it can work from health issue, any fire marshal related issue, anything that may be reported to us through DPI, among other entities. As far as BOLC is concerned, it's like a hit and miss for us. like we usually don't get all the detailed information. And I can tell you the reason, because when our code enforcement do inspections, we are basically looking for facts, public safety violation, or anything that can cause life and limb related situation and things like that. Whereas the control of the BOLC may also relate with a lot of operational issues. Just as an example, if some entity is selling liquor or wine to an underage student, or if they are serving to any minor, or if they are following the ratios of like food versus the alcohol being served. And all of those things are given in the state regulations, and they are also mentioned in some of the property use agreements that we have in this context. So I just wanted to clarify so that everybody has an objective way to look at it and see where our responsibilities are. Typically, my department or my officials or supervisory or manager staff within my group won't go out or make a comment on if there is a violation that has been under the authority having jurisdiction, like BOLC or fire marshal or DPI or any other, like Department of Health. So we don't engage into making a judgment on that, or utilizing that as one of the elements that we want to hold our license to be issued. And I'm providing that information so that we are all objective and clear about it. Did this answer your question, what you're looking for, or?
I believe your question was whether it's required that we send a letter. And I think the answer to that is no, it's not. There's not a requirement that we send a letter.
And then if we wanted to send a letter and there's a requirement to do a public hearing, then what is the deadline by which that would need to happen? Because in the packet, I believe it was March 1st.
And I believe Ms. Anderson probably can answer that best.
I would like to follow up with the Board of License Commissioners. Had a call in today, but we didn't get through the entire process. So I will give you that information. And the purpose of sending the letter is just to, if we do have a strong objection to a renewal, that then there is a process. But I will verify the exact date when they need us to weigh in to be able to participate in the process.
Great, thank you. I will say, for the benefit of my colleagues, I think at least one of the businesses here, I'm aware, had at least a hearing before the BLC regarding a violation. And I do think it's useful when we look at this in the future to look at violations of BLC rules, not just of city or health rules, because if there is a business in the city that has had repeated violations, I think that should be something that we consider as we push this forward. But that said, I think with the information that we have, my suggested approach in this case be that we not send a letter, because I don't think we have sufficient information to push for the non-renewal of anyone's license. But welcome your thoughts.
So will it be a good idea to table it until next week if you need more information? That's one way of not acting on this item tonight.
It's not clear to me that I think the information we need is from BLC, and I don't think that BLC is likely to give us that information within a week. They also already have that information as part of their consideration, so it's not necessarily required. Hopefully, if there's repeated violations, they would take that into their own consideration. So I think the real question for us is if there is information that we have that would suggest that we would, as a city, would not be supportive of the continuation of the license, that is data that the BLC would need. But I think the original letter that was in the packet suggested that we were supportive of approving all of the licenses. There's a revised letter in the red folder that has a different direction. I think my proposal would be not sending anything, but I welcome the views of others.
Okay, so I see some hand raised. Mayor Pro Tem first. And Councilor Mitchell, I don't know who actually raised hand first. Councilor Mitchell, can you go first, please?
Mr. Mayor, I will yield to Mayor Pro Tem because she is there in the room, and I can go.
I
after-
was
can
just
go
pointing
last, be honest.
to Councilmember Oates. I was not asking to speak, so please
Yeah.
go ahead.
Go ahead. If you have comment, Ms. Mitchell, Councilmember.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to my colleague, I just wanted to get more clarification of, is it all the liquor license or just one entity that you're expressing concern about?
There,
Or is it the process and one entity?
is that a question for Mr. Oates?
Mr. Oates, yes.
Yeah, Mr. Oates.
I'm not sure I totally understand the question. I think effectively what we're being, my understanding is we're being asked by, or the recommendation from city staff is that we send a letter to the Board of License Commissioners as part of their consideration for renewal of their licenses. I think the original letter that was in the packet suggested that we be supportive of all of those licenses. I personally am not comfortable with supporting the renewal of licenses, given that some of them at least have violations before the BLC that I do not fully understand. But I don't feel that those violations are such that we would need to, or at least in my opinion, push for their non-renewal. So I think we could send a letter that said we are, do not object to their renewal, or we could not send a letter, which I think both would have the same effect. Does that answer your question?
So you answered the question, which I was being as straightforward as possible to you, Mr. Oates, and I do appreciate your candor. I just, Mr. Mayor, I'll be quiet for right now.
Yeah, you can always come back.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead to someone else. I want
Please.
to be very quiet.
Yeah, you can always come back. Thank you, Councilmember Hernandez.
Director Kokar, can I ask you, out of the ones that are on here that you've provided us that you found were in violation, have all of those entities addressed those violations?
Yes,
Okay.
on many of them, like from cities, so there is a slew of violation, and that could be outside of our purview and within the city's purview. Within city's purview, there are two, non-residential occupancy permit, and the other one is the city liquor license.
Yeah.
Those are the two, and if you will look at that column,
Thank you, Director Kokar. I was just asking because the revised letter says something along the lines of, we are pleased to report that the mayor and council voted to recommend that all but the following licensees be renewed as they are not fully compliant with the city's requirements for permits and licenses. So what's within our purview, they've already addressed whatever issue they were having.
yeah, they are under the enforcement process. They all have NOVs. There is a
That's fine.
re-inspection, and if they don't comply, we'll be issuing them municipal infractions. It's just got to follow through that.
And we're
enforcement process.
doing whatever we can to address it and enforce it. I'm sure they're all working to repair that.
And-
I just want to invite my colleagues with a little bit of more perspective. Prior to this year, I think this process was we would have every single entity like that's on this list come onto our agenda, and then we would have to have an entire discussion about this every single time, right? And what that looked like was, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes, 40 minutes of just going back and forth on every particular entity. I think what this letter does is helps address some of the larger meeting concerns. I think if there is an entity that we're particularly concerned about, we can remove them off the list. Otherwise, I would ask my colleagues to support sending a letter. We are not the approval process. We are merely a recommendation. And if for whatever reason there is something that would call into question an entity's like fitness into selling alcohol or liquor, that it just fall within the purview of the authorities that are responsible. So if BLLC can remove their license, great. If the city can provide a notice of violation, fantastic. If they need to issue a municipal violation, then we'll deal with it that way. I just feel like if we get bogged down on we're going to pick every entity, it's going to cost us time and resources. So my ask to my colleagues is let's just get this passed. We'll move forward, and then we'll just progress. But I do just to say, like, I do have I do have the concerns. I see the concerns of Councilmember Oates, and I think as well-meaning as they may be, unless we have the entity, unless there is an entity that we're particularly concerned about, as we were previously in District 4, with the one next to like a school, I don't think we need to go through and belabor this.
Thank you. Ms. Simmons?
Thank you. Just to start out, I would say that I am not in support of the revised draft letter as drafted, and I do appreciate Councilmember Hernandez providing that background about how this process has historically gone. I think that's incredibly helpful, and I agree with you. This is a significant improvement, if I'm understanding you correctly. I am curious from staff, is it typical for other jurisdictions in Prince George's County to be sending a letter in the instance that there's no issue? Because I think I take Councilmember Oates' point as well, that the time when it seems like the Board of License Commissioners is actually asking for us to provide input is when we have a real issue, we want to actively not support something, and then they have a process for us to do that, which I understand, Ms. Anderson, you're going to look into that a bit more just to understand better the timelines and the dates associated with that process. So yes, I am curious if this is typical for surrounding jurisdictions, because it seems like, to me, it may have the same impact of like sending no letter is not going to have a negative impact unless I am missing something. And in which case I do tend to agree with Councilmember Oates that maybe we just don't send a letter at all unless there's some negative fallout of that. The Board of License Commissioners really wants to hear affirmatively that we are in support of all of these, because truly, from my perspective, I have no issue with any of them. I wouldn't want to voice any strong concerns if there are no strong concerns, but I also don't see the harm in simply not sending a letter if there's more information to be had.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Oh, yes, that was a. Is there an answer to that question? Is it typical for other jurisdictions to send letters of this nature, just kind of blanket supporting every single license in the city?
Ms. Anderson.
I am not aware. I think that our history, because we are have the University of Maryland located in this jurisdiction, in this city, we've been more involved than other municipalities have been. For instance, we have our property use agreements, which is not typical of many of the jurisdictions. I can't say all, but it is not a requirement under state law or the Board of License Commissioners regulations. But the board has accepted that standing. It's a long practice, and so we do have those tools available to us so that we work in hand with the Board of License Commissioners. I would say that to add to your point that you made, we want to weigh in when the Board of License Commissioners, when we have a serious concern with a business. And so I think that anytime we're communicating with them and we have concerns about a license, it should be at that level. I think it's a longstanding practice that the city has weighed in because to assist with the board's due diligence in the renewal process. And so I think they may be used to seeing a letter from the city, and there might need to be dialogue because they might reach out and say, hey, we didn't hear from you all. But I don't think I have not found that it's a requirement in law. And I can't answer about the other jurisdictions, but I would be happy to, because I'll have discussions with the board, and I can bring back more information if needed.
I think you just answered my second question, which was going to be, do you perceive that there would be an issue or cause any concern for our businesses, particularly small family-owned businesses that have these licenses, if the Board of License Commissioners were not to hear from us? But it seems like there could be some dialogue if we simply chose not to send a letter, and it wouldn't be catastrophic or necessarily detrimental.
That's correct.
Thank you. Ms. Mitchell, you raise your hand. Please go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I would like to recommend that we go with what Councilman Hernandez has mentioned, is improving the letters. The Board of Liquor License Authority has seen College Park as an entity that always submits a letter, and to change at this abrupt time without any rationale would seem odd. If there is a need to have further deliberations and discussion, we can do that at another time. But I would highly recommend my colleagues to go ahead and to take Councilman Hernandez's recommendation to move forward, unless there's one entity that you do not want to, but I think we should move forward.
Thank you. Mr. Ranker, did you?
Well, so if I understand maybe what Councilmember Oates is saying, and I would say that, and what I hear our director saying is, according to the city, we, other than not having the correct occupancy permits, we don't have any other violations really for any of these, but also we're not the ones that they would go to. They would go to the county, and they would be the ones who, really have the health fire violations. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. I think
So-
that's why I have mentioned earlier in my deposition here, like authority having jurisdiction is a very important in the regulatory world.
Yeah.
Like, and I have like gone back and forth in this, some of the responses to some of the council members in terms of like where our roles are. We stay in our lane.
Yeah.
And we have no business to divulge into our comments or anything like that. In those kind of, if we see a gross violation, if somebody is serving to an underage kid, I'll be the first one to put my foot down and say, hey, this is not going to be tolerated. I'll probably be calling Chief Clark with BOLC, hey, come on and check it out.
Right. So with that also, I understand that we don't really understand what is being investigated or what has been reported on the county level in total.
Yeah.
And so what I hear kind of, for me, the question is, do we have a blanket support, or at least a blanket, we have no objection to these, when we don't actually really know what's happening on the county level? I wouldn't want it to kind of imply that I wouldn't want it to be taken into account that, well, we have these issues on the county level, but College Park said it was fine, so let's go with it, when we don't actually know what the issues might be on the county level. So I would say that if I'm understanding that correctly, my preference would be to not send a letter and have the dialogue of, hey, look, from our perspective.
So I think it's a great question, and even on the side of Councilmember Oates and your side, and the others one who feel about that. But I think the question is like when we are doing it as a regulatory hat and then checking our locations, we believe in transparency, and we want to document what we know of in our conversation with the other outside agencies, which are at the county level or at the state level. And then when we check with them, we record them. A lot of time we may not have details about them, as have been alluded by Councilmember Oates in one of his inquiry. And we are just trying to be transparent, and these are the facts at this point of time. And I think our authority is limited to the city code, how the city College Park code is written. And I will be the first person to kind of question myself if someone is asking me to go outside of that.
Sure. Thank you. I see a couple of hands. Let's do the first bites. Mr. Hugh and Ms. Jordan, is that okay, Councilmember Jordan? Okay.
Thank you. I just want to say that, yes, I agree with my colleague, Councilmember Hernandez and Denise Mitchell, Councilmember Mitchell has said. This is a long time ongoing tradition of expressing our support for the entities that serve alcohol within our city. It is our duty to have this approval process as long as they're not violating any of our codes. it is not up to us to enforce other codes like county codes, state codes. There are instances where, like with overcrowding, where we do enforce the county's codes. We do have that relationship and that expectancy, but this is not one of them. And I think it would look very odd that we do not send in a letter by changing the way we operate with them and saying, well, we'll only report if we have a problem. We need to maintain this relationship and this ongoing expectancy of, hey, you're a university town. You have separate issues. You have your use your public use license. I'm sorry, I'm stumbling with that.
Property
use agreement. Thank you. And they're respecting us in that. So I think it is expected that we, communicate that we as a city, our codes are not currently having any issues with these businesses, and let them enforce their code, their expectancies on these businesses. This is a lot if we don't say anything.
Thank you. I say Councilmember Jordan and Mayor Pro Tem Mackey, and then I'll go to second bites.
Thank you. So what I'm hearing is that, I agree with Councilmember Mitchell's leading that this would be abrupt if we were to change our process at this point when we're expecting to send the letter after tonight. And so I'm also hearing that, what is the purpose of this process that we currently have? How necessary is it? What are the potential secondary effects of sending a letter, not sending a letter, saying we blanket approve versus saying we don't disapprove? And so I would propose potentially that we continue as expected for this particular annual review, where we without having any reason that we want to push back on any of these licenses, that we approve them for this year, but then we ask staff for next year to look into what would, is this still necessary, to start those dialogues in advance of this rather than for this particular year. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, I have some clarifications. So when we first got our packet, there were many code violations, and so now you guys have been very busy, and I see that they're all cleared out except for a few that say county health, and then there's, am I correct in saying that? Because you'll say none reported, so you must have contacted them since we got the packet so that it changed correctly.
I think this is...
I just wanted to make sure I was thinking right.
That this is an updated list based on what you got with the council package earlier.
So now we don't have the reason to pause like we did when we first got the packet, because a lot of us were saying, what are all these violations? And I'm very thankful to the staff for their diligence in going and clearing these up. So I have a question on the Peter Chang Kitchen and Bar. So will they be coming to us in the future to change? Because normally when an entity gives doesn't give, but sells their liquor license to the entity that took over, they come to us. Am I assuming that correctly?
Yes. In that particular entity that you have talked about, yes. It was a question which was heard this morning at the BOLC level, and the thing has not passed because the previous entity which was there was Anita's, and I think their license, they didn't make the effort to get it transferred, so it got expired yesterday. And there was a hearing on that this morning that we attended.
Okay. Well, thank you for clearing that up. There's two things that I wanted to say is, would we be within our rights to ask the county to clarify these different county health issues that are just flagged on, I think it's 3 or 4. Let's see, 1, 2. I think there's 4. Would they, like in the future, clarify those for us so that we can just, as a city, be aware?
So there is a written official communication from my staff that has gone to the contact person with the County Department of Health.
Okay.
And we are seeking those details.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And lastly, I wanted to say that we have to remember that as a city, nobody of them, I mean, they've all cleared, and so they don't have any city violations. And I agree with my colleague that we shouldn't change our process now. And we have to remember that we have to trust the county that they're doing their job and they will be taking care of these liquor issues. So I would support what Councilmember Hernandez and Councilmember Mitchell and Councilman Jordan all said, that we should definitely make sure that we do write a letter. If we have a reason to pause on a business and they're causing some issues in the city, then we will have to take that up in the future date. And I just also wanted to make a note that, and my city manager and you, Director Kokar, can correct me, but the University of Maryland is rolling out an initiative to make sure that that different entities in the city that serve alcohol are aware of different issues about serving the food and making sure that they're not serving to underage drinkers. And so I think that the collaboration between the city, the county, our city staff, and the university is going to prove that that we are aware of these issues and that we can move forward in a positive way. So what, did I understand that correctly from the CMAS today?
Yeah, I think what you said is the correct spirit and intent behind it.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I was very impressed that was also happening on the university level too. Thank you.
I see. Let's go for second bites. Sorry, I didn't see that. Mr. Young.
I just wanted to clarify, kind of from my position looking at this. I want to thank Mr. Kokar and his staff for going through and really bringing this up to date. One of the things that it's brought to my attention is the Board of License Commissioners have approved some applications without a property use agreement being put in place, which I don't know how that happens, but it's as you've seen, I want to say it was the Elks Lodge or the Moose Lodge that went through, and the difficulties that we had with them even recognizing the property use agreements being necessary or in law. So I'm a little bit concerned there that we aren't getting the correct information from them, and as far as the updated information, because as I look at the updated spreadsheet and I look at the businesses that are on the actual letter, in some cases it is saying everything is fine, but we're still recommending they're on the list to be not recommended. So I'm not sure how that is.
No, I think it's an excellent question. And like sometime when you're reading it, I will just like all of you to pay attention to reported city violation 2025 permit period. And under that, there are 2 subheadings: non-residential occupancy permit, and the other one is the liquor license. And those are the city 2 requirements that we deal with. So where it says, like, take for example, Corner Store Grill. Yes, so if Y is there in that yellow line, that says yes, that means that is in violation of the occupancy permit. Whereas in terms of liquor license, no. So if you will look at all these yellow, where Y is, that means their violation exists. And I think that was my question to my staff yesterday when I was discussing with them on the initial update on this list. So I think I want you to, like, if a Y is there, even one of the Y is there from both of those 2 columns under liquor license as well as like non-residential use permit. That means that violation exists there. And that's why all those names are there in the updated letter that Mr. Young is going to send away.
Thank you. Yeah, so the letter, the 16, I believe, establishments that we have in the letter, those actually came from the Excel document.
So what I understand is you're saying until they would get their correct licenses, you are recommending in your revised letter not to say yes, not to say we recommend these for renewal.
Yeah, I think my job is in light of transparency and openness, like, okay, these are the locations that they have to do some follow through. And even in my original, thing, I said, like, I want to be business friendly and support, like as a local government official. We want our businesses to succeed. But at the same time, it's our duty also to be transparent and morally correct. And I think our code enforcement process is already doing that. Maybe if you want me to update this list in another 30 days, it'll have a lot of name drops because they would come in and they will do what they're supposed to do. They will pay the fee, fill out the application, and get the inspection done. If our people go there and verify that annual inspection is all hunky-dory, they will give them clearance and we will issue them that. And may that be done even prior to their county license expired. Because if you will see all these dates, they are like 31st of May or 30th of June. Those are the two expiry dates from the county license point of view. So like I can't say just by looking at the list like, oh, they are in like life limb safety or public safety or like a hazard related safety issue that exists there until or unless our people get a chance to go there and conduct their annual inspection. A lot of things can happen in whole year. When people go back, they may be storing all kind of things in the exit door and things like that. And those are all hazards of a occupied location.
Okay, let's take two comments and then I will entertain a motion if there is any.
And thank you, Kenny, for asking that question.
Councilmember Oates, second bites.
I have a question, or maybe two points. One is just to make sure that my colleagues are reviewing the revised draft letter in the packet, which would instruct the Board of License Commissioners that we are disapproving of the renewal of 16 businesses' licenses. And we would be required to hold public hearings on those 16 businesses, from my understanding. So I think it's helpful if we're talking about sending a letter, not sending a letter, to know which things we're talking about. I think my other question just has to do with and maybe it's from Ms. Anderson, but there's a comment that our authority is limited to the city code. In our consideration of what we tell the Board of License Commissioners, are we limited to review of what is in the city code, or can we take other considerations and other factors into consideration?
When you say other factors,
such as were there a business that had 20 violations of the BLC's code but was in compliance with the city? Could that be a factor that was taken into account in our renewal or non-renewal?
I think let me try to answer the question this way. The authority to issue the license is based on state law, and then each local jurisdiction has their own rules and procedures, and that's how it works in Prince George's County. And so there's specific rules and procedures that govern the issuance of a license and the renewal of a license. In this instance, we're talking about the renewal. And so when our letter is saying we don't maybe recommend renewal, but the process plays out in that you would have to note a formal protest, and then the Board of License Commissioners would schedule a protest hearing of that license. I confirmed today that while we're protesting the renewal, the business continues to operate. So it is the Board of License Commissioners that will hold the hearing, and the city would have to note its formal protest. Okay. So we can note, if I can answer your question specifically, we can note violations of our laws. We could also be concerned if we thought a business wasn't a good business for the city if we saw additional violations of state law, because we want compliant businesses in our city. The authority rests with the Board of License Commissioners. We weigh in. This is a weigh-in. It's to note our objections, and they do consider it, and then we would have to make our case as to why we think it's not good for this business to be in the city. But the final decision-making authority rests with the board.
Okay, thank you. So not necessarily there will be a public hearing for each of these 16 businesses.
There would be. If we noted a formal protest, but not by us, by the Board of License Commissioners, but I want to research further as to what that process would look like. I did talk with the director and confirmed typically protest hearings last 1 to 2 hours, and so if we are noting a formal objection, in their language, protest, they would hold hearings.
Okay. So that will be regarded as the protest. That's what you're saying. Thank you. I actually saw. Is that the second bite? Are you done with your question, Mr. Rhodes?
Oh.
Yes. Everyone had first bite. This is second bite. So Councilmember Simmons, and then Mayor Pro Tem Mackey, and I think I saw Councilmember Mitchell also raise hand.
Thank you. I wanted to note, in response to some information that you provided, Director Kokar, I am strongly in support of seeking and pursuing compliance. Business licensing, code enforcement, very important. I appreciate you doing your job to that end to get these businesses into compliance. However, I want to be very clear that I am strongly opposed to sending this revised letter, specifically because it says that we voted to recommend that all but the following licenses be renewed as they are not even full stop. I don't care about the language after that, frankly. And then we're calling out these 16 businesses. I think that is less clear and less transparent about what our position is. I think it's potentially incredibly detrimental to those businesses. And I am not in favor of that at all. I frankly don't care if we send no letter and we have some conversations, if we say tradition dictates that we send the letter in support and that's, carry on as usual. Between those two options, I really do not care, but I am very opposed to sending this letter as drafted, specifically because it is calling out that we are not in favor of these licenses being renewed. I do not agree with that.
Do you have any amendments to this language to the letter?
I would revert back to the original letter or send no letter. I wouldn't even mess with revising this draft letter.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem.
Can I just ask a question on just the procedure? Is there a way that we inform these businesses? Well, I know that they've been informed that they have to comply, but can we give them like a date? Because I don't think we should send this letter the way it's written either, because I think we're opening up Pandora's box about having to go back and go to court and with the Board of Licensing. I think that we have to write a letter eventually, but before we do that, can we contact them and say, hey, you're not in compliance with College Park Code, and that needs to be, you need to come into compliance before we can support you with the Board of Licensing. Do we have that authority?
Yeah, I have a folder here that has notice of violations written for all these 16 entities.
Okay.
And they have already gone. So they will be re-inspected after 10 working days.
Okay.
And then we will go out there, and then each will be judged like, hey, what progress you have made? Have you filled out the application? Have you scheduled the inspection and all of that thing? And then there is always a room for the time if somebody has some circumstances that warrants a little bit more time. So we are working with them.
Right.
So this list will get updated as we go through that process.
Right.
And I have no doubt in my heart and mind that majority of these, you give them 1 to 2 months
Right.
time period, they will be all compliant.
Right.
Because everybody wants to stay in the business and be
Right.
on the compliance side of the fence.
And we don't need to try to put ourselves in the position where we're having to defend and find all these facts, and so it'll be more staff time, more of our lawyers' time to go that. So if we hold off and give time for them to be in compliance to your letter, then when you would come back to us and let us know, okay, they all have complied, or these two didn't comply, or whatever. I just think that's probably a better way of going. I don't know how my colleagues feel about that. I think if we send this letter right now, we're opening up an opportunity to cause a lot of work for our staff and possibly hurt the businesses in the meantime. And we don't want to do that. Thank you.
Councilor Hernandez.
I think Councilmember Mitchell was before me, but I don't mind.
She raised hand, but
Okay.
she took down.
So
To my colleague, Councilman Hernandez, go ahead.
thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Councilmember Simmons articulated the frustration I had with the second letter, or the revised letter, because even if we say we support all but, like, you just put those 16 entities in a negative light, right? Even if it's just, I don't know, what they didn't follow one rule. So it's an issue for me, and I strongly object the letter. The second letter. Here's what I'll invite, right? I think that if there is a business that we're concerned with, inform the staff. The staff will go and direct, and they'll work it. From a policy perspective, I think we just have to make a decision whether we're going to do something from here or not, like if there's an objection or not objection. I would be willing to do some sort of amendment to the original letter that caveats, the fact that we have no objections as a council instead of we approve. But I really feel like this is nitpicking, known to us at this time, because we don't know. Maybe someone has a BLOC violation and we just don't know it. We don't want to open ourselves up to that liability. I really think that we're just getting really into the language, and we don't really need to do that. We can say we're going to approve it, we're not going to approve it, but I feel like we've spent a lot of time on this item, and I thought this was going to be the fastest one. So, and this is, I don't mind if somebody wants to refine this, but per City of College Park municipal regulations and laws, we have no objections known to us at this time, and we, maybe we don't approve, but we don't protest or we don't object.
So let me understand. Looks like there is a broad consensus not to send the revised one. Is there any desire to send the original one that was in the packet?
I have a desire to send the original one, but I'm open to amendments if somebody wants to present that.
Okay, so
Mr.
I'll
Mayor,
entertain a
this is
motion
Councilman
then.
Mitchell. I'm with Councilman Hernandez to take the original letter and make some amendments in order to comply with the rest of the body. I'm sorry, you didn't see my hand.
You have language?
Yeah. So the original one is in the packet, and if you want to suggest any changes to the language, you can mention that.
It's in the packet.
If there's no amendments, I'll move to.
Okay.
Wait.
Page 74 in the packet.
Page number 74, 074. Yeah. Councilman Ranker.
I would just say I concur with not wanting to send the revised draft letter. I think, I like the outline of the amendments that Councilmember Hernandez was asking. Just a real quick question. On these ones who don't have their permits, are most of them lapsed by a month, or some of them they haven't gotten them in 3 years? Kind of. Do you have any ideas? Just as a brief answer.
I will have to look deeper into the records, but majority, the dates are different, and some have probably expired for 3 months, some 4 months, some just a month ago, and we are just like, when we do it in November, we get, like in January is when like people start to check within my work group and check these locations within their area of responsibility in the city.
Okay, because my concern was if there's somebody who hasn't done it for 3 years, you know, or something like that, then I would want to, you know, withhold saying we support them without getting. I don't want to undercut code enforcement in their work, but I also don't want to put businesses unnecessarily in a bind if they do have full intention. So I'm fine with either tabling a month to give code enforcement a chance to go back to these places and say, come on, let's get the stuff in order. And if not, then let's go forward with some sort of revised letter based on the original packet.
All right, I'll entertain a motion. Hold on.
I was going to move to make an amendment to the original letter.
Go ahead.
Wouldn't staff just use the direction that they've heard from here? And then send it so that we're not drafting it with 8 pens? Usually that's what we do.
Go back and listen to the transcript of the meeting, watch the video of the meeting, and construct the letter.
I think it's one sentence.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Where?
So this is probably faster and save staff time and money. So the second sentence, just we're pleased to report that we voted to recommend that all be renewed. I would change to we're pleased to report the mayor and council voted not to protest renewal of any of the licenses issued to establishments in the city. Since, as I understand from Ms. Anderson, what we're doing here is not protesting. It's not that we're supportive of renewal. We are saying that we are not trying to pull down a license.
Okay. Is that acceptable?
Is that enough, Ms. Anderson? Because you look uncomfortable. Okay.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. Councilmember Jordan?
I just want to make sure I was understanding, but I was actually looking at Councilmember Jordan's face.
Somebody needs to help. Sorry, my apologies.
I'm not sure about point of order. May I recommend a different amendment? Rather than mayor and council voted to recommend that all licenses be renewed, mayor and council voted and have no objection to all licenses being renewed.
I like that one.
Is that acceptable to you, Councilmember Rhodes?
So I'll say on February 9th, I informed city staff of a hearing before BLC for one of the entities that was in this packet. They had a hearing on February 10th for a violation. I do not know the nature of the violation or the adjudication for BLC. What's in the packet suggests that that entity has no violations. And so I think my question is, I have some discomfort with saying that we are approving or supportive of renewal. I'm fine with us saying that we are not asking anyone's not to be renewed. If there's a better way that somebody can frame that in language, I'm happy to support it.
Thank you.
Could we add to Councilmember Jordan's language known to us at this time? Since would that be enough, Councilmember Oates? Because we don't know. I mean, like, we're never going to know all of it, right? And we trust the director of public services to have that relationship, and I think that they understand that. I don't know. I mean, if that's not the case, if you want to go with your language, you can make the amendment and see if you have the votes, and then we go through and then we move on.
Yeah, let's start with a version, and then we can probably change that. I think Councilmember Jordan has an amended version, and Councilmember Oates has an amended version.
Point of order. So do we have a motion yet? I mean, and then we're making amendments, correct? Is that what we're doing? Because you're losing me. I'm sorry. And it seems like we're work sessioning this again.
Yeah, this is kind of similar way we're doing the letter we sent to the Board of Education. Remember, that was amended letter. So we'll start with the amended letter first, and then we'll approve as amended. So there will be 2 votes.
I'm sorry, I thought we said we didn't like the amended letter.
No.
Not
No,
the
it-
one.
it
in
would be
packet.
May I ask, Councilmember Oates, you made a motion, was that correct? And
Did you-
then
It wasn't seconded though.
there was never second. And then Councilmember Jordan,
It wasn't
it
seconded
wasn't
either.
second. Okay, so I think we just need to get.
We need a motion and seconded, and then.
I
that should be
also
made.
could add another suggestion. We could postpone action to our next council meeting
That's what I was suggesting in the
and
beginning.
give staff and myself time to get more clarity from the Board of License Commissioners and also to get real accurate updates on the status of the businesses. And then we could have, we could report on that with a revised letter based on conversation from tonight and what we have learned from a status update. And then we could take action at the next meeting.
Okay.
If
Is
you
that-
want to postpone to a date certain.
That sounds like a wonderful, still 1 week is a good enough time.
So moved.
Mr. Mayor, if I can make a motion
To
postpone.
postpone, yeah.
this action until our March 3rd meeting.
Second.
And there.
Any
I'm
further
sorry,
comment?
Mayor Pro Tem Mack, I wasn't finished. So that the attorney, as well as the Director of Public Services, Director Kokar, can get more information to inform the council.
And there's a second by Mayor Pro Tem Mackey. Do you have further comments? Ms. Mitchell, Councilmember
This
Mitchell?
has been a very enlightening conversation.
Enlightening and long
Hopefully
one.
we will, have more, we'll be definitive on March
Thank you.
3rd.
So this is not debatable. Am I correct, Ms. Anderson? Look at the chart. Postponement is not debatable, as I. Yeah, and we do not need to take public comments on this.
It is debatable.
No.
No, okay. Any further comments? Councilor Hernandez? No? Councilor Hill?
Yes, I just wanted to make sure of the timeline that this hearing is, that this letter is needed for, that we're not going to miss that timeline.
Is it?
I don't think we're going to miss the timeline. From my conversation this afternoon, my preliminary conversation, I think we'll be okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If there is no further comments, I can ask for the vote. All in favor, the postponement motion?
Aye.
Say aye. Any opposed, any abstention? The motion is approved. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Coker.
Thank you,
Appreciate
everyone.
that. But it was quite a discussion. Thank you. I appreciate everyone's input. All right, so we have come to I believe this is the last action item. Am I correct? Yes. 26002. Introduction of an ordinance of the Mayor and Council of the City of College Park authorizing the sale of the certain property located at 5021 Lakeland Road, College Park, Maryland, as no longer needed for the public purpose. And this will be taken our famous city attorney, former city attorney, or actually she's a city attorney again, Sue Ann Ferguson. Thank you for your work. Please turn the light, the mic on.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Nice to see you back.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm Carlos Nunez, Senior Planner with the Department of Planning and Community Development. Tonight, staff is requesting introduction of Ordinance 26002, authorizing the sale of the city-owned property at 5021 Lakeland Road in order to facilitate development of a permanently affordable homeownership opportunity. The property previously contained a home that was destroyed by a storm and currently remains vacant. This project represents a partnership among the city, Habitat for Humanity, the College Park University, University Partnership and the Community Preservation Trust to create a permanently affordable homeownership unit consistent with the city's affordable housing goals and their the priorities of the Lakeland community. The city purchased the property in 2025 for approximately $205,000. The proposed sale price is about $105,000, with the remaining value effectively serving as a contribution toward the construction costs through partnership funding to support affordability. This does not require a separate city expenditure. As an addendum to the memo that you have before you, please note that while early concepts considered a single-family home or duplex, the final design has not yet been determined. University of Maryland students and members of the Lakeland civic community will host a community feedback meeting on March 9th to help shape the design with the goal of ensuring meaningful community input, as the city manager asserted earlier this evening. The transaction documents are still being finalized and will return to council in March for approval. However, state law requires advance public notice before the sale of city property, and introduction tonight allows the project to stay on schedule and preserve time-sensitive county CDBG funding, which requires settlement by the end of April. Before questions, I'd like to introduce our project partners who are here this evening. Councilor Sue Ellen Ferguson, as well as Orlando Vasquez, who will be presenting our PowerPoint presentation tonight. And we have some other additional partners who will introduce themselves when invited. Thank you.
Thank you. So are you going to the presentation? In the meantime, I want to recognize our former city council member, Susan Whitney. She has joined online. Thank you, Councilmember Whitney, for joining. Thank you.
Good evening, council members and mayor, city residents, residents of College Park. In the interim, while we're fixing the IT, I think I'd like to take this time to introduce the rest of the team. My name is Orlando Velez with the College Park City University Partnership. I am the Director of Housing Initiatives and Operations for the program, for the organization, and I'm here joined with the rest of our team, which I would love to come here to introduce themselves.
Good evening. I'm Ron Spohr, and I'm the VP of Real Estate Acquisition and Project Financing for Habitat for Humanity Metro Maryland. I'm happy to be with you tonight and look forward to discussing the project.
Thank you for joining.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kendra McAbee. I'm the Communications and Outreach Manager for the College Park City University Partnership. Good to see you all.
Thank you for joining.
Howdy, I'm Caleb Withers. I'm a representative for Team 12-2 for the University of Maryland.
Thank you. Mr. Thurston.
Robert Thurston, Lakeland Civic Association President.
Thank you.
Ruth Murphy, Vice President of the Lakeland Civic Association.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. I think as we can pivot a little bit, I could take some questions now with the information, with what questions you may have now about the project. The presentation that I was going to give was going to be a little bit more graphic friendly on how the transaction is going to work financially and what the funds look like between one organization to the other and then the end product. But I'm happy to take some questions now until we
certainly
get
let's use the time. Council members, do you have a question? Mr. Young.
I want to take this opportunity to make a disclosure. I am also on the board of the City University Partnership, and so I don't think there's a conflict here, but I just wanted to make sure that for the sake of transparency that people understood that I sit as the city manager and as a representative of the city on the partnership board.
Thank you. And for the record, I'm also on the board, board of directors of the Sippy Cup, and hopefully I will not have to break the tie and vote for it.
Mayor, maybe we could get some of the
Certainly.
the background now while we're waiting. I don't have all the numbers in terms of who is contributing what outside of what the city's doing, but I'm clear about what that is. And so you have the ordinance this evening because the state law requires that you give 20 days prior notice before you transfer a property out of the city. And the timing here is important because our understanding is that Habitat wishes to use CDBG funds for this project, and they have to be able to put them toward a project they can encumber them with. And so once the city transfers the property to the trust, then the trust can proceed to work with Habitat, and all the funding can get put into place, and it will be encumbered and will be able to be used for that. We apologize that you only have the ordinance on your agenda this evening, but that's because of the timing. It's a very straightforward ordinance normally, but this one is going to be contingent on a couple of agreements that haven't been reached yet. One of them is the trust agreement that is entered into by the trust and the eventual owner of the property, and that is based on a 99-year lease, which can be extended. The individual has to comply with various income restrictions so that they're able to buy just the house. The trust retains ownership of the property under the house. And there are any number of transactions that have already occurred that the trust has gone forward with the same operative outcome. So that's the end point of where this is going to be once the house is built. What the city is doing is it's a $205,000 plus valued property because that's what was paid for at the end of last year. And the city will receive at settlement $105,000 plus of that. The remaining value of $100,000 is going to be received by Habitat to help them with construction of the house. All of those are going to require, those movement of money and agreements are going to require a couple more agreements to come before you. Contract of sale, which I've sent you. We're very close to coming to terms on that one. And a grant agreement at minimum. Also in the deed, there will be the various restrictions. To tie this all together, to make sure that the funds and the property that you are conveying will be used for the purpose that you intend. And that is the purpose, to have a house built there that the trust would then administer after that to an affordable house for income-limited folks.
Thank you. Thankfully, the slide is up, so please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Sue Ellen. And thank you for pivoting and let me, we're able to share on Zoom here. So I wanted to go through the process a little bit about what that transaction looks like. So what we're seeing here, and I'm sharing a slide, cash out and cash in, there are going to be two buckets, and then representation here is the City of College Park. What we see here, that line, that's the land represented, and then there is a foundation on that land, and that's very critical for this project. So the city, as mentioned, has paid $205,426 and some change for the property. The idea is that the property will then be transferred to the College Park City University Partnership that manages the Community Preservation Trust, so we are under the partnership. We would be paying cash out $105,426 and some change to the city of College Park, reserving $100,000 into an escrow account, which I will get to in a minute and how that is being transferred later. The partnership divides the land, separates the land from the improvements itself. So we hold the land in stewardship as a trust. The improvements themselves will then get transferred over to Habitat for Humanity. Habitat will use the CDBG funds, $120,000, which they have allocated to them, for the acquisition of the improvements themselves. And that money will be transferred over to the partnership. The land, as you can see, stays in stewardship with the partnership. That land no longer gets transferred out, just the improvements. This is where you'll see where Habitat will start to build those improvements and create a home or two homes, depending on what the community has stated as well. Their investment cash out, so their costs to build is $410,000. Of that, they're getting $100,000 in estimated additional funds and fundraising support from other organizations outside. And that $100,000 that we were holding in escrow, the partnership was holding in escrow, as you can see now, goes as cash into the Habitat for Humanity to help pay down some of the construction debt. Now we're looking at a family or a partner family, what we call a partner family, and what Habitat calls a partner family, what the partnership also calls a partner family, purchasing the property itself. And when I say property, they're purchasing the improvements itself. So they're spending, while the home here is being sold for $300,000, Habitat does not get $300,000 from that transaction. They originate the mortgage, and then they sell that mortgage in the secondary market to an investor for, I believe, getting 70 cents on the dollar.
Bank is a zero interest mortgage that gets sold to a banking partner.
Thank you. It's a 0% interest mortgage that gets sold to a banking partner. They don't buy dollar for dollar. They purchase at 70 cents on the dollar. So they're only going to get, Habitat is only going to get $210,000 from that $300,000 mortgage that they originated. That $210,000 goes back to Habitat to pay down the rest of their construction debt. So at the end of the day, we're looking at a total net investments from each organization here. From the city, we're looking at the $100,000, which they did not get. They sent over to Habitat as a grant. The partnership is looking at $85,000 of net investment, $85,425 and some change. Habitat is breaking even. And then at the end of the day, we have a permanent, as Suellen had mentioned, we have a permanent affordable house that's recorded for 99 years, a permanent owner-occupied requirement that's for 99 years, and right of first and second refusal. And this may be, the partnership has the first right of refusal, and the city has a second right of refusal. So in that case, if the owner chooses to sell the property, they will notify the partnership. If we say no, they notify the city, they say no, and then they could sell on the market. And they sell on the market based on the formulated calculated price that is in the land trust agreement.
Oh, thank you. Are you done?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. First of all, I want to say thank you for this graphic. This is awesome. and I saw so much email traffic from council members. It is complicated. There's so many players in there, right? So thank you for doing it. And I know the council members are asking you to send these graphics to them. So please do that before they ask. Thank you. Okay, I see some hands. Councilmember Hernandez.
Hi, partnership. So first off, I want to thank you all for taking the time to address some of the concerns that were raised the last time. I think the last time that you all presented before us, there was a delta where the city had purchased the property for $205,000. I think there was some discussion that we were going to transition the property to the partnership at somewhere to the tune of $120,000 or $150,000, some sort of like $50,000 delta. And I know that our residents were concerned about, well, where did that $50,000 go? Like, in this explanation, like it all seems fair. Everyone's working together for what I think we have all made a commitment as a city via the recommendations from the Restorative Justice Commission, and in order to preserve Lakeland in the vision that's been recommended to us, this priority. I think the $100,000 that we're giving as a grant is really just being put in escrow for Habitat for Humanity for the priority of preserving Lakeland through the image that, you know, we as a council have agreed to from the recommendations. I know that there's multiple steps there, but it's important for us to understand that this is one of the tangible steps that we are taking as a city to be able to meet our commitments for all of the discussions that we've been having with regards to tangibility. I will say, in that light, if it's possible, it's a simple request, but like since there's been so much partnership here, is it possible for us to add some sort of distinguishing factor that, like a plaque of some sort with like a triple seal with all three of our seals that says, hey, this is something, because we're not going to be, I don't know about my colleague, Councilmember Hugh, but I'm not going to be here for 99 years, right? But like, and so if we could have some sort of seal that captures that, because it's a creative idea that we're doing here in order to provide meaningful repair. That's one question. I think is that a yes?
Yeah. I love that approach.
Okay.
I want it to not just be on a plaque, though.
Okay.
My colleagues and I have been talking about presenting this as a project, a case study across the country. The International Town Gown Association is one where we can present this as a case study, look for more funding and support outside to replicate this here in College Park.
I truly think it's a fantastic approach. I will add, I know that this is more of an internal city thing when it comes to the second right of refusal, but like I'd ask our colleagues to be able to make sure that we're in consultation with the Lakeland Civic Association and the Restorative Justice Commission prior to us making a decision. I don't want whatever property owner comes up and they get past you and then now they come to the city. Like, we should have some sort of internal conversation to say, hey, should they be selling it to these people as the experts, leading experts in the space? So that's an internal conversation that we could have. Like, I don't know if it's you, Mr. Young, that gives the ominous dominus for the refusal, right? But I hope that we're talking internally across the various stakeholders here.
Yeah, I get your feedback. One of the main things I'd like the council to consider with that is you always have to have that funding available to execute that right of refusal. Like if you want to actually acquire the property, you have to have the money sitting somewhere. So we need to be thinking about that. We've had a situation in the past where the county decided not to use their right of refusal. We didn't have the money as the city, and I think we ended up losing about 85 units of affordable housing in College Park, and so I really think that that's one of the strategies that we need to be thinking about moving forward.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you. Any other questions? Councilmember Ranker.
I appreciate this breakdown because this we didn't have this before, and I think this helps me understand. Question on the $410,000 from Habitat, and I'm going to have a couple questions about this, but is this with the presumption that it is a single unit or a duplex? Because that was one of our conversations last time, is could this be a duplex? It used to be a duplex on this site, is my understanding from our Lakeland folks.
The $410,000 budget is the development cost for a single family home. Yes.
And does that mean that it will be, that there's no room for a duplex or?
The budget that's presented is for a single family home, but at the listening session in a couple weeks, we'll look for input from the community, and based on that input, decide the path to go forward relative to where we want to pursue a single family or a duplex.
Great. I also wanted to ask, I mean, how much of this 410,000 in general, labor costs are generally in new builds, as I understand, 20 to 50%. I know Habitat generally has a model where the eventual owners put in sweat equity, and volunteers do too. I'm just surprised that $410,000 would be for a single construction, not including the land piece. And so wanted to get a little breakdown of that.
I wish it wasn't so. I wish it didn't cost this much to develop homes. A portion of that is soft costs. There's construction financing costs. There's impact fees. There's WSSE fees. So in addition to those soft costs, the hard costs, the site work, of course the foundation and construction costs for the entire project, most of the labor, we do engage volunteers and we love volunteers, and that's really the lifeblood of Habitat is our volunteer engagement. But truthfully, most of the work that will be done on this house will be subcontracted by professional contractors, and that's expensive work.
And how much do you see of this being like in kind by people who are already on staff at Habitat versus like outside subcontractors?
If I had to quantify the labor that will be donated as part of volunteer work, I would say maybe 20% of the labor on this will be donated. We'll be limited to certain things, some framing, trim, flooring, landscaping, items like that.
And are there people already on staff at Habitat that do a lot of the essentially we're compensating them to do these pieces, or do you understand my question?
A portion of the $410,000 is for our site supervising staff, who act as carpenters or as or volunteer supervisors. So there's a lot of volunteers on the site. They're spending their time supervising volunteers, ensuring a high quality. If there's no volunteers on the site, or one or two, then they're acting as carpenters.
Yes, yeah. Right. No, I've volunteered many times on Habitat builds and know how important those are to make sure folks are doing their thing. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilmember Simmons.
Thank you. Thank you all for joining us this evening and presenting this information. It's really helpful to kind of wrap our minds around it. I think that this project is incredibly exciting, that we are leveraging resources from so many different entities. I think it's really kind of a testament to what can be done with partnership, and certainly aligns with our city goals around housing affordability and restorative justice. I think it is an excellent use of our city resources, and I hope that it is kind of a proof of concept for what can be done in the city and more broadly, and will kind of inform our intent behind future property acquisitions as well. It is not lost on me that this project is located in the Lakeland community. I think that is incredibly exciting as well, that this is the first project of its kind in College Park in this area, and it is located in Lakeland, and that the Lakeland Civic Association is just directly involved in this project, and even to the extent that they're referenced in the ordinance. I think all of that is excellent. I did have a follow-on question about the single unit versus duplex. I know this was raised back in October by our predecessor, council member Susan Whitney, asking if there was an opportunity to put a duplex on the site. And I understand that from that conversation, there is potentially under the Housing Expansion and Affordability Act. So I am curious, has that been confirmed with either the county or the state that it would be a qualified project under the Housing Expansion and Affordability Act to kind of open up that option for a duplex, assuming that the Lakeland Civic Association and community members are interested in that as an option?
Do you want me to? It has not been confirmed with a municipal agency. My reading of the legislation that was passed by the state indicates to me that it would be approved, but we have not confirmed that.
I think that is my reading as well, but I think confirmation before like moving forward, I know the students are actively in the process of kind of visioning and designing, so having confirmation on that earlier I think would be really useful. So thank you.
Thank you. What's the next? What did I see? All right, Councilor Hill.
Yes, yeah, and I agree. I think this is a great job and effort that we're making to in the effort of the restorative justice to Lakeland community. But I think also I really like this the premise that you're going to take this to the ITGA as an example of what they can do in their communities. I think that we're setting a good example here. When we hosted the ITGA conference a few years ago, the feedback was tremendous about what the partnership and the city have been accomplishing. So I think this is a really great opportunity to do that, and thank you for doing it.
Thank you. If there is no other comment, I will entertain a motion to introduce the ordinance.
Sorry, if I could just ask, will there be provisions in this, basically, if it does end up being a duplex, obviously that includes the cost, but it also includes the cash in terms of a purchase, and do we assume that those would either break even for Habitat, or if it's a surplus, how it would be distributed?
Yeah, from Councilmember Ranker, my understanding, your question is are you asking, is there going to be more funding coming through from the sales if there are 2 units versus 1 unit?
Correct, and I assume there would also be increase in costs. Would they be even? Would it, would the burden fall on Habitat then to make up the difference? If it was a shortfall, if it was a surplus, what happens to that surplus?
Yeah, it would be on Habitat to take on that burden.
That's correct. Yeah, we certainly would not expect a surplus. We'd expect the additional costs, and we'd expect Habitat to have to make up additional revenues to meet those costs.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. In the end, it will be break even for Habitat, right? That's your business model.
Correct.
Thank you. All right. So I'll entertain a motion, and because this is in Lakeland in District 2, so any of my District 2 council members can do that.
Yes. Introduction of an ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of College Park authorizing the sale of certain property located at 5021 Lakeland Road, College Park, Maryland, as no longer needed for a public purpose. The public hearing will be held on March 24th, 2026 at 7:30 p.m.
Second.
Thank you. So this is an introduction. We do not need a vote. And thank you. Thank you for your work. Appreciate that.
Thank you all.
Hope to see you in March. Thank you. All right. So that's the last action item we had. And the next item on the agenda is request for status of future agenda items, and the staff is saying nothing has been received. There is a submission from Airport Tem. Is that is that a proclamation?
I don't have to bring that as an agenda item, do I?
That is next year, isn't it? Remember the proclamation request that Mayor Pro Tem submitted?
Yes, I received it. I have it in the file.
Okay. Yeah, you don't. That has already been approved in the list, so you don't need to do that. And this is the time to receive comments from the audience. If you have any comments on anything under the sun. And is there anyone online? Please remind me. There is some. Please come forward. Please state your name for the record, and if you are a resident of College Park.
Hi, my name is Kendra Maccabee. Name is Kendra Maccabee, and I am a resident of College Park, Berwyn. I would like to point out that the capstone students for the 5021 Lakeland Road project will be developing site designs for both a single-family detached and a duplex. for the record. Thank you.
Thank you. I see someone raised hand virtually. Please state your name for the record. Proceed with the testimony. Miss Allen, do you see the name?
Yes.
Oh, Mr. Wahed, right. Please go ahead.
Yes. Thank you. We have a bill already, the collaborative bill with University of Maryland College Park, Advanced Technology Acceleration Initiative. I have been reporting for almost a year now how it was progressing, and finally the bill has been drafted. It is HB 1570, and it is government procedures in state government for the development and review of standards. Essentially, it brings in a method of developing a decision-making algorithm that can be rapidly utilized based on the abilities and the knowledge level of the participating groups or individuals. And it is open, it's totally adaptive, and it tracks how the initiative or the project is progressing without any additional costs. And it's an agile resource system that can be implemented by scientists, engineers, skilled in professional services, has been verified by many industries. It has been utilized for decades, and we've been trying to apply it to state government operations for quite some time. It is used sporadically, and as long as it is utilized, it delivers transformative economic efficiency on a very large scale. The moment the utilization stops or there's a barrier, there are huge losses. And that is the reason why this whole methodology is being addressed in this bill. And if it is utilized, the risk for budgetary losses is minimized to a very large extent. So there is independent verification process involved, and it is from National Institute of Standards and Technology, but all the procedures, the verification, validation, calibration are all from National Institute of Standards and Technology. They're also being utilized by National Science Foundation, and they've been developed by the National Academies for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Medicine. So it has a very good chance of success, but people have to understand, we have to make sure the committee understands first, and it is in the Government, Labor, and Elections Committee scheduled for hearing on March 11th. And before that, I would like to have a recommendation from the City Council, because I've been reporting about this for quite some time, and it is supposed to bring about the collaboration between university, Advanced Technology Acceleration Initiative, city councils throughout the state, counties, and also places where we all live. I am from Howard County, so Columbia Association is interested, and we have local associations as well, and many other stakeholders, large scale to small,
Thank you.
Engineering companies, associations.
Thank you, Mr. Wahed. Your time is up. That's all the time you have. And thank you for your advocacy, and thank you for mentioning the bill's name is, did you say HB 1570, 1570? Am I correct? We'll find out. Thank you. We'll look into it, and we have been reviewing many bills actually as the session going on. So we'll be reviewing it along with other bills. Thank you. I do not see any other hands, and I do not see anyone in the room who wants to speak. With that, let's come before the council. Let's start from the left. Councilmember Mitchell.
I pass, Mr. Mayor.
And Mayor Pro Tem Mackey.
I just want to share that I had the privilege of attending a PGC public school meeting on High Point High School, my alma mater. That is they're going to be rebuilding it, and also on the north, let me see if I can get this right, the north area Adelphi High School. And if anyone is interested in hearing the recording from those two meetings, please contact me on my city email, and I would be glad to send them to you. I also attended CMAS today, which was very interesting, and that's it. Thank you.
Councilman Ranker?
Pass.
Councilman Oates?
Pass.
So last week I had the chance to attend the public hearing of the Board of Education budget, PGCPS budget, and asking them to keep the funding for our Chinese immersion program. And thankfully, there are quite a few residents, I believe at least 30 of them, attended, and they received, I believe, 60+ comments. So, and it was attended by something like 180 people. It's quite a few of them. And before that, I know Councilmember Simmons also testified. Thank you for your testimony. So hopefully the Board of Education will listen. Looks like they are changing the direction, but even though it is not quite good enough for the community. So as the letter we sent today. Today also I had a chance to be at the Holy Redeemer Church at the Boy Scouts troops who helped the snow cleanup recently. And thank you, Councilmember Hugh, for your leadership and your advocacy. That is wonderful. And this week I'll be giving a tour to our local elementary schools, because MML, Maryland Municipal League, they're running if I were the mayor as a contest for the 4th grader students. So tomorrow I'll be at the Al Huda School, and on Friday morning I'll be at the Paint Branch School. I haven't heard from Hollywood Elementary, but hopefully I'll be there next week. Yeah, that's all I have. Thank you. It's really fun. It's always fun to talk to little ones at the 4th graders. Thank you. Councilmember Simmons.
Pass.
Councilmember Jordan.
Pass.
Councilmember Hill.
Yes, last week I attended the Council of Governments Transportation Planning and Board meeting. They had a segment on electric vehicle charging installations, which is overlapping with the Air Quality Committee that I also serve on. And then also attending the NLC Energy, Environment, and Natural Resources Committee, where we discussed the upcoming agenda items for the March NLC meeting, where we will be presenting to Congress and all that for policies that are upcoming to impact the environment. And then I will be attending the data centers conference for also Council of Governments on the energy part. There will be a part on energy, part on water, and a part on air. So this is the first part of that series. And there was one other one. Yeah, well, that's enough.
Thank you. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Councilmember Hernandez.
I guess I failed to mention this at the beginning of the meeting, but I guess it's combined. But last week I had the privilege of attending the Parkdale High School's Parent, Teacher, Student Organizations Steering Committee meeting. As many of you know, many of our students within, I think across the city, end up going to this high school. We decided that it'll be the 3rd Thursday of every month, whether there's a notification or not, but we're working on communication. So if you have anyone in your districts that attends Parkdale High School, if anyone's listening that attends Parkdale High School, please get involved with the Parkdale High School PTSO. It's some significant progress that we've come together, and hopefully we'll actually get it established. So looking forward to more updates.
Thank you. Thank you for your involvement. Appreciate that. All right, let's go to our student liaison, Mr. DeSpirito. Final thoughts?
Pass.
Thank you. Mr. Bujba?
Pass.
And our city managers, Mr. Young.
I just want to clarify, Mayor Pro Tem Mackey had asked a question about the bulk trash pickup, and it will just be one day this week, which will be on Friday.
So there won't be anything on Thursday. Nothing. Thank you. All right, now we entertain a motion.
Motion adjourned.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No abstention. We are adjourned. Good night, College Park.